Here's another potentially undervalued wide receiver going into 2022. Talking about here, Tyler Boyd. So going back to 2020, weeks 1 through 11, he was the wide receiver 11 overall for fantasy football. He averaged 16.2 fantasy points. And the reason I cut it at week 11 is because Joe Burrow tore his ACL in that game. Flash forward to 2021, things changed because the Bengals added Jamar Chase. Boyd still was number 1 in slot snaps, number 21 in routes run, number 31 in receptions, number 8 in target separation, number 30 in route wins, number 12 in juke rate, and then wide receiver 29 overall for the fantasy football season. If you look at the spreadsheet right above me, you'll see he had some really nice weeks. Obviously, he's not going to be a consistent top 10 guy or top 12 guy with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins in the mix, but you can see plenty of weeks where he was inside the top 25 for the wide receiver position. Had that massive week 4 where he went for 20.8 fantasy points in a week that T. Higgins was out of the mix, which makes you think to yourself like, hey, is this guy one of the better wide receiver handcuffs for fantasy football? Just looking at the fantasy points column, I took his better days, and that's a lot of good weeks for a flex play. And I feel like that's what Tyler Boyd continues to have the ability to do is fill in your flex position maybe for a week where you have guys on a bye or you have some injuries, and he continues to go later and later in drafts, which is evident below me because right now he is going as the wide receiver 52 for fantasy football, both for Fantasy Pros ADP and for underdog drafts, best ball. Which is kind of confusing too, because if he was the wide receiver 29 last season with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, why is he so much worse this season? He's not the first or the second option in this offense, but as you can see, again, by some of his better weeks, he does well. He could be a flex play. So Tyler Boyd maybe is not the guy that's going to win you every single one of your weeks or be, a league winner, but I think he deserves to be rostered, and I think he deserves to be drafted much higher than that 52 wide receiver mark, which is far below what he did last season.